Today we're getting into Western Conference powerhouses and who we legitimately think is coming out of the West. I'm Nate.
And I'm Ryan.
And this is NNR Analysis. So who do you think's coming out of the West, Ryan?
That's a tough question, Nate. I honestly feel like Golden State's the top team.
Okay.
I mean, they're top tier. They're right there at the top of the standings, and I feel like Clay, the way he has played in past postseasons, I feel like he'll come back and he'll be able to get over the hump.
Okay. As of right now, it looks like we got Phoenix, Memphis, Golden State, Utah, Dallas, Denver, Minnesota. Clippers are sitting at 8th, with Lakers and New Orleans in the play-in tournament. So hypothetically, it's like, hypothetically, the Lakers win the play-in game, then they may be at that 8th slot. I doubt they'd be able to take Phoenix. If I were to pick someone to come out of the West, I don't know, what are your thoughts on Memphis? Do you think they have what it takes?
I think Memphis is a great team. I think the way that they play is awesome. But I feel like if you look at how young teams have done in the playoffs, I was looking at a stat that said how a team under like 25 for the youngest age, or around that age, where they make it, and most of the time it's been a first round exit. Like the only time in the last 20 years where it's been different is Oklahoma City, back when they had Kevin Durant, James Harden, Russell Westbrook, and they made it to the conference finals that year and lost to Dallas, who went on and won in 2011. And so I feel like they're a great team, and I love Ja Morant and the chemistry that they have, but I just feel like they don't have the experience. They don't. Experience is veteran play is what dominates in the playoffs, and I feel like they don't have that yet.
All right, so let me ask you this question then. What would make the difference for Memphis? Do they need an experienced player, someone that's done it? Do they need another superstar? Do they need more time? Do you think they'll ever get there if they don't change up their team?
I feel like with the way it's constructed, it can win, but it's a few years away.
Okay.
I feel like ultimately bringing in a player who has experience, who is a solid, maybe not like a top 10 player even, maybe like a top 20 or top 30 player, would make a huge difference and be what gets them over the hump, or just experience in general.
Okay. If you take example of Memphis playing Utah, I think this is just last year. Utah beat them in 5 games. Memphis didn't stand a chance, but obviously Utah had the best record last year, whereas Memphis is now ahead of them in 2nd. Even if they played again, which highly unlikely, but if they ended up playing again, I doubt Memphis could take Utah. Personal opinion, I see Utah as a stronger team, but I'd have to agree with you on Golden State. Aside from that, we do have to give Phoenix a lot of credit, and I don't know, I think it'll be Phoenix or Golden State that'll come out of the West likely.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think Utah ultimately, like you said, versus Memphis, I think that's a good matchup, but Rudy's going to have his way down low. I mean, they got Steven Adams in Memphis, who's a solid player, but he just isn't going to be able to handle him. Ja Morant and Donovan are going to go at each other, but ultimately Mike Conley, Boyan, I feel like Utah's going to have that advantage. And like you said, Phoenix is a great team. I feel like they will make a good run in the playoffs. But my thing of why I didn't say Phoenix and why I chose Golden State is just the fact that Phoenix, I feel like, is trying hard right now, which is great. Regular season, like, you obviously want to have a good record and everything. But Golden State understands, they have that experience of being to the final. Obviously, Phoenix made it last year, but Golden State has done it over and over, and they understand that regular season does translate to postseason, but just because you have the best regular season doesn't make the postseason.
Do you think Golden State has what it takes with all their injuries that have happened though? Steph will be coming back right as the playoffs start. Clay, Draymond, and Steph have only played 11 minutes together in the past 2 seasons, I want to say. So it's been some time. Clay's been out. Draymond's had injuries. Steph's had injuries. Are they getting to the point where they're too old and their experience isn't there?
That's a good question. I feel like they are kind of on the end of their title runs with the way the team's constructed. But I really like how Golden State's brought in some youth, some young players. Andrew Wiggins, obviously, he's had a great year. I mean, post All-Star hasn't been nearly what it was before the All-Star break.
Kuminga.
But yeah,
Kuminga's good. Some of those young rookies.
Gary Payton, yeah, exactly.
Payton.
I feel like that's been really good for them. And obviously,
James
Steph's
Wiseman will make a difference if he comes back as well.
James Wiseman, I think he's good. I think he gives a hard time for these big guys in the West, like a DeAndre Ayton for Phoenix, Rudy. Obviously, he's not on their level, but he's someone that they can throw out there and just fight his way down low. And so I feel like he'll make a difference. Obviously, not be as dominant as those guys, but he can definitely defend them and get into troubles at times.
All right. Aside from the teams that we've kind of discussed there, do you see anybody from 6 through 8 making any noise? Denver, Minnesota, Clippers, could they pull an upset? Is there a possibility of that?
Yeah, that's a great question. LA,
Dallas as well.
Yeah.
5 through 8.
LA Clippers, I mean, and obviously looking at LA Lakers and New Orleans Pelicans as the playing game comes into play. I like how New Orleans been playing lately. Don't think they'll do much though against these top tier teams. They don't match up well. Lakers, I love LeBron, but with the way the chemistry's been, obviously against a big team, unless LeBron has a crazy postseason like he did like 6 years ago, which is kind of in the past at this point, which is sad to say. I don't see them doing a whole lot. I do see Denver having potential though.
Okay. Is that because of Jokic and having
definitely.
an MVP season?
Definitely Jokic, but also there's rumors that Jamal Murray could be coming back and seeing how he plays.
Do you think they've meshed at this point? I mean, they've played together in the past, yes,
Yeah.
but it is tough coming back from an injury. You haven't played together all season. Jokic has gotten used to the rotations that's going on that they have currently.
No,
I just don't know if he'd be able to do that.
and that's why I mean, like, I feel like they are able to do an upset. Do I think it's going to happen?
No.
I don't. But out of any of those teams, I feel like they could. And Dallas, I mean, Luka, he's amazing, Luka Magic, but I don't see too much of an upset. I feel like Phoenix, Golden State, Utah, and Memphis are going to be the teams to rule the West this year.
I think if it is 4 and 5 the way it is right now, Dallas and Utah, I pick Dallas beating Utah.
Really?
As much as I love Utah and they're my team, I just don't think that they have what it takes to move out of that first or second round. Even if they were to get on to the second round, I don't know if it's there for them, it's presently constructed, and if they're going to be able to do it.
Okay. I mean, I feel otherwise. I feel like Utah matches up. The matchups are there, advantage for them. But it's definitely
7-game series too.
Yeah, anything happens in 7 games.
Happens.
But like you said, I feel like if Utah makes it past, and even if Dallas makes it past the first round, I don't see them making it to the conference finals. I feel like it's Golden State and Phoenix in that conference finals.
State and Phoenix.
Now,
I could see that happening. Wouldn't Golden State be coming out of the same? No, they'd come out from the opposite side.
yeah, they would come out of
Yeah,
the
because the 2 and the 7 and the 3 and the 6
Yeah.
come out. So Golden State and Phoenix are your definitive 2 finalists there in the Western Conference Finals. Who do you have out of those 2?
I say Golden State.
Golden State. I
But-
say Phoenix.
But then again, obviously we're basing it off of standings currently, where Memphis, they're only 2 games on Golden State. There's still 10 or so games left where things could swap up. And the 2 and 3 could swap. Matchups change, but I feel like that's the way it's going.
Okay, one final question, and this is to do with Phoenix. Do you think they have the experience that it takes to go on? I guess we're talking about the Western Conference here, but if we were to say, could they win a championship this year?
I'm gonna say no.
No.
I think
And that's because you think Golden State will take them out with the experience.
I think that, but also I just feel like, I mean, obviously we're just focusing on the West, but I feel like the East, the experience that the players in the East have, trumps the experience the West has for Phoenix. Devin Booker, obviously, he's had a great run last year. He's having a great year this year, but it's only one playoffs for him in his career. Chris Paul, he's only played in one NBA Finals.
True.
And so I just feel like,
I was gonna say several years of playoff experience.
yeah,
now.
he has several years, but I just feel like there's so little experience that I don't see them.
Do you think that's the reason why they won the first 2 games on Milwaukee, and then Milwaukee figured them out and won 4 in a row?
Yes and no. I think Milwaukee was the better team, and I feel like
I had Phoenix out of the 2 though, surprisingly. So to
Yeah.
see Milwaukee come back and win 4 straight was a surprise for me.
I think that surprised a lot of people, and I think that surprised me too with them being up the 2 games. But going into the finals last year, I did see Milwaukee winning it over Phoenix from the get-go, and then things changed. But I thought Milwaukee was the better team in the series.
Well, that's all we have for you now. If you liked what you heard, please hit that notification bell and subscribe. This is N&R Analysis. We'll see you next week.